100.3 Philly's R&B, ASHMAC here. And you know what? We've been getting so much music right now, and it's been amazing to hear, but more importantly, to highlight and speak to the pioneers, the legends, the icons that are behind the songs that we know and still learning and loving today. So I have the legendary Miss Debbie Deb. I'm gonna call her Miss
Girl,
Deb. Hey, Miss Deb.
hi, boo boo. Oh, that's such a nice intro. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome,
So
and thank
sweet.
you so much for making time to talk to me today. I know you're booked and
Absolutely.
busy.
No, I got time for you, girl. Always. Never a problem. Never
Thank
a
you.
problem.
I appreciate you so much. I appreciate your time. I think we're in a
Thank
great time for music, and we're in a great time to give icons and legends like you their flowers and do it now.
thank you. Oh,
So yeah.
God, get a tissue. Oh, that's so sweet. I never realized the severity that my music has on people until I talk to DJs like yourself and whatnot, and I hear it. It's
Yeah.
really humbling. Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And I hope that you feel that, especially during this time right now. I think you'll feel it more than ever because we're
Oh,
seeing a resurgence of when I hear music, and we're just hearing a lot of your music right now, especially with the sample with Kendrick Lamar with his new album
yeah.
G and X. When we hear Squabble Up, which is #1 on the Hot 100 charts on Billboard, like
Was
how
he?
does that feel for
Yeah.
you?
It's thank you. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. My son that lives in Philly called and told me, "Hey, Ma, the new Kendrick Lamar song just came out, and you're on it. You're all over it. You're on it." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, and I played it. I'm like, "Oh, that's gonna go to #1. That's crazy." I was as soon as I heard it, it was like he nailed it. He just nailed it. He always nails it.
He always nails it, right?
He
He
always
always
nails it.
does.
He's the bomb. He's the bomb.
So was that the first time you actually heard about it when your son called you, or did you get a
Actually,
call
yes.
from
Yeah.
Kendrick's team or anything?
No, I did not. But I did hear some. I did hear a while back something was happening, but I didn't know with who or with what. They don't really tell you nothing in the industry. So, but
Right.
it's so crazy. But I did. There was rumors, and I never believed the rumors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
never because usually like 90% of them they're not true. But
facts.
this one, but I didn't know who it was. I didn't know who it was, and bam, look, and I was nicely surprised
How long
and
ago
very
did you
fun.
hear these rumors? How long ago was it that you said maybe someone,
About
was
four
thinking
months
about
ago.
using a sample?
Yeah, about
Okay.
4 months ago, I heard that. Do I for at a show or I don't know where I was, but I like I said, I don't pay any attention to the rumors,
Yeah.
but sometimes they're true.
And look at that.
Yeah,
Another #1 song. Sometimes they're true. Okay.
I
That has to
know.
be a rewarding for you and such a full circle moment as well.
It's been very overwhelming for me because I wasn't expecting it, and I just live
Mhm.
my little life here in Florida, and I just do my little thing, and I do shows, but I live a very easy life. I was not expecting this whole turn up to come up like this. I had no idea. I mean, social media is blowing up. Everything's just
Yeah.
blowing up, and I'm embracing for it. I mean, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
It's long overdue for me.
Facts. Okay, now I need you to walk us down memory
Yeah.
lane from when things really, your whole world got turned upside down in
Oh boy.
1983. Take us back to Miami, take us back to Peaches, take us back to when you first wrote this song and
Yeah.
and really how this even came about.
Came about working in Peaches, like you just said. I was 17. I was in a work program in high school. I didn't like going to school. So instead of dropping out, they put me in a work program and I liked music. So I never wanted to be a singer, but I always wanted to maybe be behind the scenes of music and like do producing or whatnot, or maybe
Yeah.
songwriting. I never wanted to be a singer, like be the front person on in of the song. So long story short is when I was working at Peaches, I met Pretty Tony there. We hit it off. He gave me the music of it was just nothing. It was just music, and he said, "See what you can do with this." And I went home. I took my little cassette player and I wrote, "When I hear music, it makes me dance." You got the music. Now here's everything just kind of like flowed in with it.
Yeah.
It vibed in, and I went to the studio maybe like a week or two after that, recorded it, and it fit. Everything fit perfectly with it, and there's your song right there. like
So were there
crazy.
any other songs that you heard at that time? Like with Pretty Tony, he was like, "Oh, here, listen to a few of these," or there was just like one track, and you're like, "Nah, this is it."
I knew who he was. He was a big DJ in Miami at the time, and he
Mhm.
had a couple of songs of his out. And I loved his style of music, loved it. And so when he offered me to come to the studio and check it to do this, I'm like, absolutely. But I told him, and I every interview I always say this. I said, I'm not a good singer, but I'm not a terrible singer. And then
Mhm.
that's the truth. I'm not a great singer, but I'm not horrible. He's like, well, let's just see what you can do. And my voice fit in with the music and everything just lined up for that song.
Yeah.
And it happened. But I was 17, not thinking about contracts, not thinking about writers' royalties,
Mhm.
all the things, that's going on now. So there's the story right there.
So can you share with me like the learning experience when it comes to contractual
Oh
agreements or
boy.
any royalties? Like was there a certain amount that you still get paid today from that, or what did you
The-
or were you able to negotiate?
well, I did have to do a lawsuit like maybe like 10 years later to try to
Mhm.
claim some rights that I was owed. But I do get royalties from. I don't get my writer's credit. I don't get my, and that's where the big money is in writing the lyrics, which I can't prove.
Right.
I can't prove I wrote them. I can't prove
Right.
it. How do I prove it? There's no computers. I have a piece of paper. Like how do I prove that I wrote those lyrics? So it is what it is. But I did write those lyrics, but I do get sound exchange, quarterly, and it is fine, and I'm happy with it. And I do my shows, and I tell my story, and I'm fine with it. Look, this wasn't my passion to be a
Right.
singer. It was not my passion whatsoever. It was not. It just got thrown at me.
Do you think this helped you find your passion though?
Gosh, that's an interesting question. God, I'm really into art. That I love doing art and making things and like making jewelry and making like I. That's what I really love to do. I get very nervous going in the studio. I get nervous when I do a show. So I don't know if that's my passion, but once I see the love that I get from the crowd, then something clicks and takes over me, and I'm like, that
Mhm.
this is I love this. But but
I love that.
to get to that point, it takes a lot. Like
Yeah.
my stomach's turning. I got a stomach ache. I'm like, oh, God, there's 10,000 people out there. I don't know how am I going to do this? But no, they like the music. That's why they're here. They love the song. So I just give them what I got, and I get a lot of love. I get a lot of love, and I
Yeah.
just go. I vibe with that.
Yeah, you have to.
You know,
I mean, listen, I'm sure you didn't think about it at the time of when you
no,
wrote this, when you performed this, like the impact, the
sure.
lasting impact you're gonna have for generations to
Who
come,
knew? Who knew? Absolutely not. Didn't even think about it. Nobody even knew what I looked like.
Right,
For a
right.
long, for a long time. For a long time.
So let's talk about that because in the
Sure.
early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, we did see a trend of that, right? The
Yeah.
singers that were on the songs, we didn't see them in the actual music videos, and we didn't
Yep.
see you. We saw other women in
We
When I
sure
Hear
did.
Music, the video, but we didn't see you. So what
Right.
happened with that? Or was that just like a strategy that was needed for a certain look?
They
Or,
want, yes, I'm a plumpy girl. They didn't want my look. They wanted a skinny or Madonna kind of looking girl. That this other couple, I won't name drop, but a couple of other chicks, not named Debbie, of course, went out because nobody knew what I looked like, and they did a couple of new songs under the name Debbie Deb, and they went out and performed my Lookout Weekend and Want to Hear Music and these
Mhm,
new songs a by Debbie Deb, but they weren't me, and you could
there
tell the
wasn't you.
voices, they're so
Mhm.
different. So there's a like I don't know how many songs are out that are not mine. Like I'm Searching, that's not me. A song called Fantasy, a song called Wild Thing, that's not me. You could totally
Mhm.
tell that's not me because when you could hear my voice sounds exactly like my song, like
Right,
people
right,
say, you know.
right.
So yeah, they just didn't want my look when the song took off. They just wanted, another type of look that I didn't have that they wanted, you
Which
know?
is crazy because To me,
Yeah,
it seems like, and what I know so far from you, you're authentically Miami, especially when we were just talking about the looks and how everything of the scene, what this looked like in the 80s. You
yeah.
were it, and you were expressing and showcasing, your real life experience of this time and what that resembled.
It couldn't be more real, truthfully. Like right. But they had an image that they wanted the brand, the name Debbie Deb to look like, and it wasn't me. It wasn't who it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. So yeah, they got away with it for a while, but then I was able to, do a lot of radio. I did a 2 week or 3 week tour around the whole country, and I did tons of radio, a lot of press. I got my word out there. I got my stories out there, and now the internet came out, and I could tell my story, and
Right.
people caught on. Everyone knows now, So I always go by now the real Debbie Deb, the real Debbie.
Facts.
So because everyone named something else or Debbie called themselves Debbie Deb,
Right. Right. So when you went to court and a part of that lawsuit, were you able to also get the royalties of your name as well?
No, I wasn't actually, but that was never. That's why I use the real Debbie Deb now, which
Gotcha.
is yeah. But see, it's so tricky. It was so long ago.
Hmm.
The logistics of it. I'm so it's so up in. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, but I've had no problem, and everyone knows who Debbie Deb is.
The real one. The real
Yeah,
one.
I'm saying, yeah. Thank you, social media. Yes,
Yeah,
enjoy,
I love that.
enjoy
But
our shows.
regardless,
Yes.
I feel like you've made such a legacy of your
Uh,
sound of music. I think a lot of people call this freestyle music, that was
or
electronic music, house music that
it,
emerged from here between New York, Miami, Philly. That's something that
yeah,
we heard, we saw that transcended amongst different types of genres of music. You saw that in hip hop. You saw that,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
amazing to see the success that you had even after that. So even the samples from Planet Rock, Africa
sure.
Mavada, we saw that from 92.
Yep,
Even when we got back to dance music,
they're
Runaway
class.
with Real McCoy, like, come
Yeah,
on now,
I know.
so
Classic
crazy.
sound, classic beats, man. Classic beats. A lot of us back in the day got a raw deal. Back in the day,
Mhm.
a lot of people got a raw deal. You'd be surprised if I told you who. A lot of people, because we didn't know about contracts.
Right,
Nobody. We didn't know about writers' credits. Nobody knew. Nobody knew.
right.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people in the industry got a raw deal back in the day.
Facts.
It's not just
What's
me. A lot.
what are a few tips that you would give emerging artists or songwriters like yourself that can learn from your experience that they truly need to pay attention to make sure they receive that credit?
If you're a songwriter, immediately copyright your song. Immediately.
Mhm.
Don't even put it out there for your friends to hear. Like, immediately get it copywritten so you own those rights. You
Mhm.
own everything. Just, if you have to kick out for a lawyer, whatever it is, do it. Do what you got to do to make sure you own your name and your lyrics, because
Right.
that's where the money is.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That's where the money is. So that's what I would say, is just make sure you do your research and just protect yourself. Protect yourself and now with AI, I don't know how with AI with here, I don't even know how we're gonna protect ourselves with that. That's a whole nother level, you know?
Right, right. But at least that's the starting part of the conversation to start there.
Yeah. Ooh, that's great. That's a whole nother conversation. That's right. But I
Yeah.
would anybody who's a singer songwriter or mainly a songwriter, just protect your rights, protect yourself.
Facts.
Get
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna run down some more of these samples you had because there's still a sample from your song, but it's iconic in their own rights too. You even had in 1989 DJ Magic Mike and the Royal Posse, which is fire. And
Yeah,
the break dancing and dancing and all, getting people to dance.
yeah,
We got 1997. You had Latham Grady with Freak It, which was amazing. Of course, in Atlanta, the roller skating scene, and even in 2006, you had
yes.
Pitbull with Fuego, which was
Oh yeah.
amazing. And then the Black Eyed Peas had a
Uh,
sample. And now we're in 2024, and you got Kendrick Lamar with
Crazy,
Squabble
right?
Up. Right.
Crazy.
It's crazy. It's amazing, but it's crazy.
it's all good, and I'm just going to embrace it and just see what happens. Did you know Janet Jackson redid Lookout Weekend about
Yes,
15 years ago?
2006.
That was crazy. Well, my well, how can I say it? Not my royalties went up sky high when she redid it, but she didn't really do a great job at it. But much love to her. But she, it was I was flattered. But yeah, she did Lookout Weekend. That killed me. I'm like, come on, Janet,
So
really?
tell me this though, did you ever hear anything from her team or any other teams that sampled any of your songs?
I no, they don't reach out. They don't. No, they do not. Mm-mm. Not
Hmm.
to me, not to me anyway. No, they don't.
Who would they reach out to then, if that's the case?
Probably the people who own the rights to the music.
Okay,
Yeah. So that's they'd have to reach out to them because, like I said, I didn't get the right
right,
music, so they they got to reach out to somebody, and it's not me. So
right.
somebody owns the rights.
Right. Well, we're gonna claim that more artists reach out to you moving forward. And I think
Uh,
Kendrick will I'm gonna speak into existence that Kendrick or someone from his team will reach out to you. You know what I mean?
Come
Because
on, Ken,
again,
give a girl a
that's an
break, man. Come on,
we're
dude.
we're gonna claim that because he's number one
I know.
on the Hot 100 charts right now.
Crazy.
And it's crazy. He has 5 songs that are
I
one
know.
through five at the top of Billboard charts. So
He's amazing, and he's gonna be do the Super Bowl. I hear.
yeah. So
I can
when you
just picture me doing the hook of when I hear music while he's doing his thing. Like, come on, Kendrick, get me up there with you, man. Let me do the hook, and you do your thing, and I'll be off to the side doing the hook. How epic that would be. That would be amazing.
That would be fire. You know what? What would
So,
you like to tell Kendrick right now, though?
give me a call, Kendrick. I gotta talk to you, boy. Call me. Just call me. Call me. I'm easy.
I love it.
I got a lot to tell him. I got a lot. First, I want to
I
give
love
him
it.
much love.
Mhm.
Totally, totally. And you guys
Definitely.
too for keeping the music going because without the DJs and the radio stations, it wouldn't be nothing. So thank you for all the support that you've given all this music all these
Of
years.
course.
Thank you.
Of course. I mean, I think that's a part of our doing our jobs, and we have to do that authentically, right? And
You
and
do a
making
good
sure we
job at it.
talk to
You
talk
keep
to
it
people
going.
like you. Yeah.
You
Thank
keep
you
it
so
going.
much.
My
When it
pleasure.
comes to, would you say I'm sorry?
No, it's my pleasure. I love talking to radio personalities and DJs and everything. I love it. I love telling my story. I like getting it out there. The more the better.
Yeah. Now, I wouldn't be doing my job well if I didn't ask you, are
Sure.
you team Kendrick or team Drake? Where are you at between this
I'm
beef?
sweet. I'm Sweden. I stay neutral. I stay neutral. I gotta stay neutral. I stay neutral in this industry. You know what I'm saying? Because
I
I, you know,
guess.
I don't want to burn any bridges anywhere. So I stay
I feel
neutral.
you.
But I would probably lean more for Kendrick, I think.
Okay.
Just,
That's
but
fair.
I do stay neutral. I don't talk no crap on anybody. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
stay very neutral.
I love it.
You have
Okay,
to.
well, we're gonna stay neutral. But
Yeah,
if Kendrick calls you like, hey, there's an opportunity here, but I
call me.
need you to tell the world what side you on, like what you gonna say?
Well, he's about 52. Yeah, 52%. I'm Kendrick. Yeah, he's my boy. Definitely.
I'm crying.
I,
For
I'm
all the kids,
hearing what, baby?
would you say?
I've been hearing too many things about Drake going on that I'm getting a little bit turned off about. So, he's
Listen,
dipping down a little bit into my repertoire of music. But like I said, is it hearsay? I don't know. Who knows?
right. Well, before we wrap up,
Sure.
for the new generation that's just discovering discovering, I guess you could say, electric dance, house, freestyle music, you know what I mean?
Sure.
What would you tell them or what would you describe it as?
I call it old school. I call it flat out keep it. And my saying is keep it old school. I just call it old school, but it is classified, I guess, more as freestyle. But to me, it's old school.
Mhm.
It's old school. You know,
What can they get by listening to this music, or what do you want them to receive if they're discovering this for the first time?
that back in the 80s, we knew what time it was back in the 80s. We had a lot of good music out in the 80s, you know, like I said, with Grandmaster Flash, Run DMC, like all those iconic people. You know, the music back in the early 80s was amazing. And you didn't have to cover your kids' ears, you know, when they're playing the music. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like explicit
Yeah.
recordings. You could let them hear everything. And that's what bothers me now, that just how brutally nasty it's gotten. It's not, it's just so not necessary that they got to go, like a lot of these rappers, they got to go there the way they go there. It's not necessary.
Hmm.
I don't know. It bothers
Facts.
me. I guess because I'm getting old. I don't know, but it bothers me a little bit though. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
There's other words you can use. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. For
So
being a fan of hip hop when it
yeah,
really first started, what do you think that artists of today can really learn from that time of when hip hop really began?
boy, there's so much to learn because there's so many good songs that were out, and there's so much good technology that's out now that you could do anything with the samples of it and make it sound like amazing, but you still keep that flavor of the iconic song that they're using. There's so much you can do with it right now. It's endless. You know, the possibilities are endless. What they can do with those original that 80s hip hop sound. You know, it's just there's so much they can do with it now with technology. It's insane.
Facts, facts. And then it'll open the door for other opportunities. So
Yeah.
I know you've done a lot too, but is there anything you would like to share that you have up and coming, and that you're working on currently?
Well, I'm not doing real. I just became a grandma again with my son just had a baby. So
Congratulations!
cute, cute. So I'm in grandma mode and I'm just doing my thing, living in Florida, going to the beach, and I'm you know what I'm not doing any more shows right now. I'll probably start up doing shows next year. But you know, I just have a very easy, low key life. I stay home a lot. I live very low key, very, very low key. Me and my husband, we just go out to eat and do our drive in our car and we drive around. But you know what? We just keep things very low key. I got
Mhm.
nothing going on, boo. Nothing. I'll tell
But you
you
know what? That sounds peaceful though.
it
And that's
is, and
something a lot of people don't have is
that,
peace. So
that's
yes.
that's where that's you know
Yes.
I'm 58 now. That's I'm at a stage in my life where that's where I'm at right now.
I love that.
Yeah, just keeping things low key and no drama, drama free, drama
Mhm.
free.
I love it. Well,
Yeah,
Miss Deb, thank you so
you're
much for
involved.
sharing your story with me. I think it's important that, we're able to share these stories and hold
Thank
on
you,
to it from the source. There's
thank
nothing
you.
to make up about it. There's nothing to,
No,
have to do anything else besides hear it from you. So I'm glad,
I'm
if
not hiding.
anything, we got the opportunity to do that and share your story with everyone today.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share my story. I got nothing to hide, girl. Nothing to
I
hide.
love
So
it.
I love you and I thank you for your support and your love and everything that you guys have been doing, like I said, because I couldn't do without you.
Love you too, Miss Deb. Please be
And
safe.
hit me up
Enjoy.
sometime when I'm in Philly. I want to hang out with
Yes, come
you.
on, come on. Yes,
I'll be
definitely. When you come in, yes, we'll definitely do it offline. Yeah, we'll hook up.
yes, baby doll. Thank you so much, you guys. 103. Well, what are you guys? 100.3, right? 100.3.
Yeah,
Yes.
we
Thank you
are.
for the
Thank
love.
you so much. Have a
Mwah.
great day.